Hey, something I quite enjoy in a bunch of these games is doing actually the most mundane tasks, like crashing my car, apparently. No, something that I actually quite enjoy doing in some of these games, and the hole that some 5M servers have been fulfilling is doing mundane tasks like bus driving and garbage trucking, but that is something you can't do in GTA Online. But as of today's update, they have added taxi driving. Now, of course, you've been able to taxi drive in the single player of this game forever, but we needed to wait until 2023 until they brought the tech to multiplayer. You can actually do it for free by just going over to the Taxi Co. over here, the Downtown Cab Co. But because I'm a big dummy and I didn't read the patch notes before I did anything, I spent 700,000 on buying myself a taxi through here. Which now is only 400 or 500,000 because I've actually done some driving around. Now, the one bonus to that is that I can actually repair my cab, and I can also call it in from wherever I am. So let me quickly call Pegasus, and they will be so nice as to deliver my taxi. Special, taxi custom.
Thank you, sir. Your specialist vehicle is now ready for you at our nearest pickup station.
All right, let's see. Where is it? Over there. Okay. There we go. Look at that fancy cab. Actually, that's a different color than I had earlier. Anyway, all I have to do to actually start taxi work right now is press B, and we go on call, and then in the second, we show me where the customer is, and we drive over there, and then we bring him to the place. So let's quickly get over to him. There we are here. This totally normal taxi driver has arrived for you. You know, my totally normal green-looking person. Anyway, as you can see, a destination pops up, and in the bottom right you can see how much money you make and the tip you get, which as far as GTA Online is concerned is really not a lot of money at all. It is very much just a job that you do to either do something different, maybe if you're a new player because you can just start it with no requirements, at least get yourself a little bit of starting money, although there's lots of different ways to get money, I suppose. The tip that you get does go up as you do more taxi things in a row, which is cool, but it's still a little lacking. I think so far it is kind of, as deep as a puddle as far as gameplay goes. It's nice as far as like doing a mundane job goes, but considering we're releasing it after 9 years of the game being out, I think it would be nice if they decided to actually add some flavor to it. So, I mean, maybe this is still a thing that they're going to do, I don't know. But I think it would be cool if they actually allowed you to, actually own the taxi company and hire drivers, and they will be driving people around for you. Then you'd just be making more passive money. Now, maybe that's a little bit boring, because, it's just more passive money the way that every other business works in this game. You gotta kind of integrate it into the rest of the workflow of the game. Maybe once every while your taxi driver gets into some issues, the taxi driver that you've hired, and now you have to get them out of a sticky situation. They got the wrong customer one too many times, and now you have to go and save them. I mean, in the end, all of these missions in GTA Online kind of come down to the same thing. Either you go somewhere and kill something, you go somewhere and you destroy something, you go somewhere and you
Okay, let's go.
do something there. I don't know. There's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of difference. I mean, they add more flavor and they add more vehicles, and it's cool. But in the end, it's just 7 different flavors of the same exact mission, I suppose. Also, it looks like I'm going for another little circle drive around. All right, there we go. Now we're actually taking the exit. Oh yeah, also if you crash into things, then the tip goes down, which is not good. I was kind of hoping that the tip would endlessly go up as you got a bigger and bigger streak of delivering people, but sadly it does cap out after delivering 10 people in a row, which comes down to roughly a tip of $2,000, which I don't know how America works, but I feel like a base fare of over $100 and a tip of $2,000 for a 2-kilometer drive does still seem pretty generous from that perspective.
Thank you so much.
Woo! The other thing that has been introduced with this update is a new award. As you can see, complete 10 fares in a row. I did that. And then you have right here have the gold level of taxi work, which is 20 deliveries. And then after that, there's still platinum, which I'm going to assume is probably 50. So let's get 50 deliveries and see what happens. Probably nothing, but at least we'll get an award. There we go. Award Taxi Driver Gold. Let's see how much the last one is. 50, as I predicted. Alright, 30 more. Woo! I did it! Alright, there we go. That is 50 taxi deliveries. And as I predicted, kind of nothing happens. You know, overall, I would say after doing those 50 deliveries that it is largely useless to do this job. But, I mean, it is still nice. There's just so much untapped potential. In my opinion, they could have easily done something like an Uber-like minigame where you just slowly accumulate more rides, and by accumulating more rides, you would slowly get a bigger clientele, or more VIP clientele, and then by getting those higher-end customers, they would be paying more, and by them paying more, you would obviously get yourself more money. But sadly, it only keeps track of your current session. As you can see, it said right there, I only got 19 rides. And, yeah, it's alright. Nothing too special. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a very good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.